following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer sports talk and a whole lot more. Join host Brent Radlinsky as he bellies up to the bar and gets the conversation going that'll make you think you're sitting in your local watering room. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans. So sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get in. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer sports talk and a whole lot more. Today's show, as always, brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code BELLYUP at SeatGeek and save yourself $20 on your first purchase over there at SeatGeek. Remember, we're part of that Belly Up Media Network. Go to BellyUpSports.com for all their great sports articles and links to other great sports podcasts as well. Thank you very much for everybody who listens to the not just our show, but all the shows in the Belly Up Network and all the great indie podcasts out there, especially my main man out there, Jim at the Fan of the Van, and Two Dudes with Sport News. Jim, Fan of the Van, tell you right, first thing in the morning, your package is going out. It's on my desk. It's all packaged up, ready to go. You'll have it early by hopefully by Friday. But anyways, you're in the making almost. So yeah, it's me. It's not you. It's me. I'm a bit of a flake when it comes to stuff like that. But anyways, I got this weekend, been a busy weekend here for the world of baseball. Lethbridge, Alberta. Did an umpire clinic at a small town, Claresholm, Alberta, for the man of the people that I am. And today, umpired some college baseball today. What a great weekend of the weather it was. It's unbelievable. The weather is here. I wish you were beautiful. One of those things. It was fantastic to get out there on the ball field again, have some laughs, have some smiles, and just be a part of the great game of baseball that I love. And speaking of baseball, that's what today's main topic is, and what would we be doing the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast? So talking about the New York Yankees in spring training, 4-4 record so far to start off the spring. I know the record doesn't matter a whole bunch at this point. Not a lot of care goes into what the scores are and how it all turns out on the day-to-day basis, but it's more about getting your reps in, keeping guys healthy, and that's where we'll start with keeping guys healthy. And right off the bat, you got 3 guys that were one guy last year didn't help out a whole bunch. DJ LeMahieu will start out with La Machine. I've been a big DJ fan since he came over to the Yankees from his days with the Colorado Rockies. Great player, always steadfast and fearless. Didn't say a whole bunch, but just let his play do the talking. But all of a sudden, you get up there in age a little bit, and all of a sudden, a little tweak and a little tear can keep you out of on the IL for a long time. LeMahieu had some foot problems last year, and then the first spring training appearance yesterday, and all of a sudden he's out again with a strained calf muscle or some tweak somewhere somehow, and he's now LeMahieu is out for the foreseeable future. Nobody really had much I wouldn't say faith, but people were fighting with kids' gloves a little bit to see what he was going to do and what kind of impact LeMahieu was going to have with this Yankees club this season. But now you got to be thinking he's by not playing again right now, and then all of a sudden you're only about 3.5 weeks away from opening day. Will LeMahieu be ready to go for opening day in the foreseeable future anytime after that? My guess is no. Usually when guys get to that age, you hate to say a 30 guy in his mid-30s, 36 years old, I think he is, that he's over the hill, but in baseball terms, these guys put a lot of wear and tear and a lot of miles on their bodies. Is this time for the Yankees to say bid adieu to DJ LeMahieu? 2019, it was a great time, a great season they had there. LeMahieu burst out of the scene, was supposed to be a utility guy, but he was went above and beyond what anyone was expecting from him. And then all of a sudden, he was I would almost say he was the MVP of the team back then in 2019. Remember, he hit that great home run in Game 6, I think it was, against the Astros. That was a wash when Altuve had a little buzzer on it. I shouldn't bring that up. When Aroldis Chapman gave up the home run to Altuve, LeMahieu tied it up right before that in the 9th inning. But anyways, I digress on that. Don't want to bring up all the old harsh memories of that one. But you wonder if the tank is empty for LeMahieu. It's time to maybe for the Yankees to cut ties as they did with a lot of guys over the last few years, like Josh Donaldson just a couple of years ago. It's $15 million, I think, which is a lot of money. You don't want to just dump $15 million and say, here you go, thanks, bye, see ya. But maybe for the greater good of the team, maybe it's time for LeMahieu to be set off to different pastures. He's been a great Yankee for his time here. The COVID year didn't do a whole bunch, and then getting hurt last year, and now he's gone. Now you got an aging veteran. Is it time to say goodbye? You hate to see a guy go out on, because he's had a great career, not just with the Yankees, where his tenure here, but his great career with the Rockies in Colorado. Just a really, really solid baseball player, and you hate to see a guy go out and not on his own terms. But that's usually the way this anything in professional sports is. Guys usually don't go out on their own terms, and they don't go out champions. They don't go winners. It doesn't happen very often where a guy gets to say, "Yeah, I've done all I could do. I've done all I wanted to do in this sport, and it's time to go." And you hate to see a guy like LeMahieu, like I said earlier, he's not a man of many words, but just let his play speak, his actions speak louder than words. And now maybe it's time for the Yankees to say, let's get out of here. Maybe give Oswaldo Cabrera a chance to play third base. Maybe that he's the guy right now to jump in there. It's hard to say what they're going to do with the third base position with the Yankees. All of a sudden they were penciling him in, and they were, I think Boone and company were hoping that LeMahieu would be that guy, but it doesn't seem to be that way. Is Oswald Peraza, is he the guy to jump into third base? Because he's on probably his last links. You want to read a good article, Eric Katz from Belly Up Sports, he wrote a good article on that, where Peraza might be on his last kick of the cat there. Let's kick of the can. You don't kick cats, you kick cans, Brent. I always say it. I don't know why I do, but yeah, you just wonder if this is his last time, and he'll jump at this opportunity knowing that this could be his last shot in pinstripes, last shot with the Yankees, and maybe his last shot in the big leagues. These guys, these utility guys who don't really jump onto their with the team that drafted or signed them originally, they usually don't get chances elsewhere because everybody has these type of guys in their minor league system. So is this Peraza's last shot, and will he take advantage of it full bore going through spring training? And will the Yankee brass just say, okay, yeah, go for it, man. Here, it's your spot to lose, and see what you can do, and hopefully we can get something. You can get something done, and hopefully it turns out well for him, because then they don't go out and find somebody else and spend a bunch of money that they allegedly don't have. I don't want to talk about that whole money thing with the Steinbrenners and things, because they got money to burn, but you don't want to lose the international signing bonuses. A thing. You don't want to lose draft picks. You don't want to lose when you go over the luxury threshold, I guess it's called. There's a lot more to it than just paying a fine, which they could pay, but there's future picks and players you could have. So I don't want to get into that, because it doesn't matter. The Yankees have decided they're not going to do that, and I can't blame them to a certain extent. But on the other hand, yeah, actually, I will get into it. You're paying Aaron Judge how much money? You're paying Garrett Cole how much money? And that window's closing all of a sudden for these guys. How many more years do you got with these guys that they're going to be at the top of their level? Aaron Judge, he's on the second year of that new deal, but then it goes on to another one, and on to another one, on to another one. The first 3 years of those deals are great. The last 3 years of those deals aren't very good. Those long-term 6, 7, 8 year, 9-year deals. So you got to take advantage of those when you have talent and you have a team to go out and win a championship. Remember, the Yankees were only a couple of games away from a World Series last year. They should have won Game 5. They probably should have won Game 1 of that championship. Wasn't for putting Nestor Cortes in. And so really they could have been up. They should have been up 3-2 instead of down 3 games to 1, or they should have been up 3-2 when they lost game 5 4-1. There's your math there on a Sunday night. Gets a little bit tough sometimes. But if you look at what the team was last year and what they are this year, it's pretty comparable. Like you look at what, you're losing Juan Soto, and that's not a good thing. We beat the Soto train to death, so I'm not going to do it anymore. But if you can get some decent production, not by decent I mean really good production out of Bellinger, who I think is going to be the dark horse of this Yankees team this year, a left-handed bat playing at Yankee Stadium. I think that Bellinger trade is getting a little bit it's a little bit underrated. I think that trade is going to be huge for the Yankees. Losing Soto and his $51 million, and you're getting Bellinger for, I think it's 18 or 19. That's a hell of a deal. Like, that's one hell of a deal. And I think that the Cubs are picking up $5 million of that deal. And Bellinger's a former MVP. He's only 29 years old. So having him out there probably isn't the worst thing in the world. And you're saving yourself $35 million. Or $32 million, whatever the math is on that. So I think this Bellinger deal is good. Hasn't been talked about nearly enough. How the Yankees are an improved team for less money. Is he Juan Soto? Obviously not. Is he going to put up Soto numbers? Probably not. But for for that price tag, you're going to have a guy that's going to give you a lot of innings and play different positions and do a lot more for your team. I think that deal is huge. And then having then you have Giancarlo Stanton once again out with two elbows and the Tin Man returns. And it's too bad because he's had such a great playoff over the year and a great playoff last year against the Dodgers. Remember that towering home run in a game in the 8th inning, I think it was. He's a playoff performer, and maybe he can get healthy and come around back and get into form and get a couple of months in of healthy Giancarlo Stanton. I've never been the biggest Stanton fan, but he does help the Yankees win some ball games. He's a power hitter. He's very good. There is rumors out there with Stanton being on the IL, and it could be a long period of time that they're going to go out there and take a look at JD Martinez, who's played pretty much everywhere in the major league. So you just wonder if that's going to be the deal that could happen, that Martinez comes in as a platoon guy to just set the bridge between when Stanton's out, and then they can get Martinez. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Probably get him on the cheap right now. The Yankees aren't a bad team right now. In fact, I would be argue to say they're just as good, or if not better than they were this time last year. Yeah, you don't got Stanton. Yeah, you don't got Soto, but you throw in Bellinger. I think it's going to be huge. They have a better closer. They don't have Clay Holmes anymore. They went got Devin Williams from Milwaukee. Now he can grow his beard back. He'll be Superman again. We'll get into that. Actually, me and Aaron talked about that last week with the Yankees, and I still think it's the right thing to, as long as it's kept well. As long as the beard is kept well, you don't have chicken bones and last night's supper hanging out of it. I think you'll be okay. It'll be fine. But that's my opinion. But I think this Yankees team is just as good, if not better than it was last year. They've improved their pitching staff. They lost Heel yesterday to a shoulder tightness. He's going to get an MRI later on. But Max Fried is going to be is a really good pitcher out of Atlanta. Rodon's going to be better. I see that better. But the dark horse here is with Heel gone, rookie of the year last year, and then Stroman. Well, everybody's talking about getting rid of Stroman, and this morning when I thought about doing this podcast tonight, I was thinking, well, you know what's a good thing they didn't get rid of Stroman earlier on, because Heel's on the IL, because you can never have too much starting pitching. And that's before all these guys were throwing 100. You're having starting pitching, quality starting pitching, guys who've been in the big leagues for a long time. You can never have too much of it. And I was thinking, okay, good thing they kept Stroman, and he went and threw up a stinker today against Atlanta. He didn't get out of the second inning. I think gave up four runs, and then he was pulled. He probably had an innings limit prior to that, anyways. But he didn't have a good start. And I've never been the biggest Stroman fan. Little Mighty Mouse there. He talks too much, and he just his appearance and his cockiness and just his everything about him has kind of gotten out of control. It's gotten worse. And you remember that 2015 Blue Jays team? That's a lot of years ago. That's a lot of years ago when he was coming out of Duke. That's 10 years ago all of a sudden. So how many miles are on that guy's arm? And just that attitude around the locker room probably isn't the best thing to have. The guy's been a bit of a cancer no matter what. What kind of teammate is he? I have no idea. But I remember listening to a podcast with John Gibbons saying, yeah, he used to be buddies with Stroh, but now Stroh's gotten so big, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't get to talk to him anymore. Doesn't talk to him much. And who wouldn't want to talk to John Gibbons, right? So yeah, I was going to say that it was good that the Yankees didn't get rid of Stroh, but now you never know. And is he a tradable asset? Probably not. But is he an innings eater? I don't know. So it's going to be you don't put a whole bunch of weight into spring training games, but when it comes to starting pitching and that guy and a guy who's supposed to be battling for a job, is that one you do put some weight on, and that's so it's an interesting deal. But back to this Yankees team for this year, I think they're just as good, if not better, than last year. Everybody talks how great that team was last year, but if you think about it, now they added Paul Goldschmidt. You don't know what you're going to get out of him at first base. You really don't. But it can't be any worse than what they got out of Anthony Rizzo last year. He didn't do anything. He had a 0.2 or 0.2 WAR. I'm not the biggest WAR guy, but he didn't do much last year. So adding Goldschmidt, if he does anything at all, it's better than what they got out of Rizzo. And then Dominguez, I worry about his defense out in left field. It hasn't been great so far in spring training, but the kid can hit, and he is a rookie, and he is going to get a chance to do it. And so if they can get anything offensively, anything offensively out of Dominguez, it's better than what they got out of douche nozzle Alex Verdugo last year. Verdugo did play good defense, so that's why I don't know if that deal is a wash. Your defense trading for your offense with Dominguez and Verdugo. I don't know if there's a wash there, but you hope that his defense will get better. I'm talking with Dominguez, and then it's kind of funny that you think about it. Rizzo hasn't signed anywhere yet. Pretty much said no to the league minimum, going anywhere else. And Verdugo's still sitting out there, never led. So how good were these guys? And it's been reported a number of times that nobody wanted Verdugo on their team ever. He pretty much got shunned from the Dodgers, who drafted him originally. When the Red Sox got rid of him, basically the clubhouse had a party and they were celebrating when he was leaving. So getting rid of a guy like Verdugo probably improves your team. Addition by subtraction. So I think this team is just as good, if not better. They have like I said earlier, they have a way better. The bullpen will be fine. The bullpen's gonna be great. They actually have a closer who's going to go out there, and you can count on him to not blow games and blow big chances. And you can probably pencil him in to be your every night guy for a long time. And only having to give up Nestor Cortes, which actually goes against what I just said. If you give up Cortes, you can never have too much starting pitching, but you do need to trade. It was an asset they could trade, and let's face it, Milwaukee probably wasn't going to sign Devin Williams anytime soon. So I think this team is just as good as they were last year. I think they have just as good of a shot getting back to the World Series. There's some teams that have improved. The Red Sox have improved this offseason, but I think that the window is still open right now for the Yankees, and they did improve their starting pitching and they improved their bullpen. Judge will still be Judge. He'll still get his home runs and having Goldschmidt right there with him, and Bellinger right there protecting him in lineup a little bit. I think that's going to help. We'll go. Is Goldschmidt's kind of the question mark what they're going to get out of an aging vet like that? He's not going to be nearly as good as he was back in the day with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's just not. That's just not what he is anymore. But is he going to be the end of his career in St. Louis? You just never know. But I just think that this team will be just as good, if not better, than they were last year. And they didn't get much production out of a lot of guys. What are you going to get out of Volpe? Is Volpe going to be better? He's a great defender, but is he going to be better? So if he's marginally better in his third year in the big leagues, that can't hurt. I can't see him regressing. I can't see him getting worse. Like, I think this team's in a really good spot right now, and I usually not like that on the month before opening day and the regular season starts. I remember last year in the Belly Up Super Show there talking about the Yankees, and I said they weren't very good, and they were going to the World Series. So there's a lot of optimism for me for this year's Yankees team, and I can't see why anybody thinks they're going to be bad, and why they can't repeat as American League East champions. I really don't. I can't see why they wouldn't go to the playoffs. They're just as good, if not better, on the mound. Losing heel sucks, but they'll find someone to fall in there. And every year, you can. Lots of teams get guys out of the minor leagues that help no matter what. They have guys that throw smoke. And like I said earlier, like a lot of these starters now, they're just innings eaters, right? So it doesn't much matter a whole bunch about your starters. Yeah, you like guys that can give you some innings, get you into six. Yeah, you want your superstars. You want your Garrett Coles of the world, obviously, to go out there and give up 2 hits and strike out 10 and over 6, and you can lock that in 30 nights a year. So you just really hope that the Yankees can get that out of Cole again, and there's no reason to think that he wouldn't. Will his health be a thing? Yeah, he settled a little bit last year, and he's not getting any younger either. And eventually, these guys their bodies do give out on them, aka Giancarlo Stanton. So I just hope that the Yankees can find a way to get past this little stretch with Stanton being out. He's been out before. He doesn't. I don't want to say he doesn't produce well in the regular season, because he does. He puts up good numbers. He just strikes out a lot, which is everybody does that now. But Stanton strikes out an exorbitant amount of time. But I think that this team's going to be okay. I think they're going to be by okay. I mean, they'll be fine. Like people are panicking because LeMahieu's out. Well, LeMahieu was out last year. They're panicking because Stanton's out, Stanton was out last year. Stanton's always out. He strikes out a lot. People are panicking because Soto's gone. Well, he was only there for 1 year anyways, and they lost with him, and they could lose without him. But I think Bellinger is the key to this team this year. I think he's going to be the guy that's going to put the Yankees over the top and hopefully get them to a World Series and maybe win the first one since 2009. It's a long time, and you laugh at this Yankee team a little bit. Like 2017, I've said before, they were one of my favorite teams. All of a sudden, in recent history, all of a sudden that's eight seasons ago, right? So this is a brand new line of baby bombers that are coming through, and if they can get it going, are they going to get any power out of the left side of the infield? Probably not. Right, probably not. But Jazz Chisholm Jr. I didn't bring him up at all. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is probably another guy. You get a full year of him playing his normal position at second base. He's only going to get better. He's a hell of a player, and he does a lot of things. He's going to steal some bases, and so he's a once again, it was a late season acquisition last year. He's only going to help the Yankees this year. They can only get better. I can't see this team not winning 95 games. That should be more than enough to win themselves a division. And so with Jazz Chisholm Jr., Goldschmidt, Volpe, and then whoever they insert at third base, Dominguez, if he can just be okay defensively and live up to the expectations he can offensively. You're talking 15 home runs, and I guess the kid's got some speed. Bellinger and Judge, left field, right field, platooning a little bit. This team's really good. And we haven't talked about Austin Wells yet. Wells is really good. Wells can hit. Great catcher, right? It's just a matter of getting that starting pitching figured out. Rodon's going to be better. No, they're fine. They're going to be more than fine. I'm not panicking here on the second day of March 2025 at a 4-4 record out of the New York Yankees. I think they're going to be more than fine. I think they're going to be a World Series contender. And can they beat the Dodgers? Well, that's going to be tough. The Dodgers are the Dodgers, and they're doing what they're doing, and they found ways to add more players somehow. People getting deferred contracts or anything else. Is that a thing? And I try not to talk about this as much as I have, because it gets beat to death so much. But this Pete Rose thing, they were talking today. I was listening to, I can't remember what it was, on the way to the ballpark, and they were talking about Rose getting basically pardoned, getting excused from Major League Baseball to get removed from the ban list. Like, what a kick in the pills! If I was the Rose family, I would tell Major League Baseball to screw off. See, you couldn't do it when he was alive. Like, what that is so classless to say, you know what? Let's rub it in. Just keep him out. Just keep him out. If that's what your stance was the entire time. There's a lot of stuff about Pete Rose. Listen to the guys on Craft Brewed Sports. They'll give you a very detailed explanation as to why Pete Rose should not be in a Hall of Fame, and it involves some rape allegations and things and stuff. Not only the gambling, but there's a lot of nefarious stuff that Pete Rose did off the field. So maybe that's why he agreed to that deal a long time ago. But listen to Craft Brewed Sports anyway. It's just a fantastic show. Actually, I got a chance on Tuesday night to watch their show for the first time live in a long time. It was a lot of fun watching that again. I get back into doing that and doing things that I like doing a little bit. And that damn job of mine drives me nuts sometimes. But the Yankees are fine. The Yankees are fine, and anybody who says that they're not, they're out of their minds. They're just as good, if not better, than they were last year. Yeah, they lost Soto, but oh well. Bellinger's going to insert him here. He's going to flourish in Yankee Stadium. He didn't hit well for the Cubs last year, but Cubs is playing at Wrigley Field. It's a graveyard for left-handed hitters, right? They're going to be better at first base because Rizzo gave them nothing. They're going to be better in left field because Verdugo gave them nothing. They're better. They got a better relief staff. They have a better starting pitching staff. They're better. The Yankees are a better team right now than they were last year. Did they make the big splash? No, but you can't always make the big splash. Not every team. There's only so many big kahunas out there. There's only so many big fish in that pond anyways. So the Yankees, they're going to be fine. They're going to be a World Series contender. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Maybe come October or end of October into November, they might be having a parade in New York City again. I fully expect them to be right there in contentions to get there. So Aaron Boone signing for another couple of years. I think that's big. Consistency helps. Is he The best manager in baseball, probably not. But now, because the nerds run the operation so much, you're just a middleman. Is he good with the team in the locker room? Yeah, Boone seems to be well liked by everybody around the Yankees in the locker room and outside the locker room. So signing him, I think, was a no-brainer. If he didn't get a contract, what are you going to got a job somewhere else? Who knows? But I think that he's the right guy for the job for this team, and trying to insert a new manager here would be a bad idea. They got to the World Series last year, so and they have been a playoff team. Like how many other franchises would love to be in the position the Yankees are? Have they won? No, but having some consistency and having Aaron Boone in there, I think was the right choice. And to go with him for 2 more years, I think was the right decision. I think it's just the proper thing to do, because if it's not him, then who? Right? He's going to grab somebody else and throw him in there and just hope. I think having that consistency out there is probably the best thing to do. And this is one that I listened to the old fan of the van, Jim, there last week, and he was totally different opinion on this one than I did. Not about the beard policy, but the music at the Yankee Stadium when the Yankees lose, when they would always play New York, New York by Sinatra. And it kind of drove me a little bit batty too. Like, what the? Like, it's a Yankee celebration song, and they're playing it when the other team wins. And especially, it was really cringeworthy when the Yankees lost the World Series at home to the Dodgers back in October. And then New York's playing in the background. If I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. So it's giving the other team a bit of a pat in the back a little bit. And I said, geez, that's like it was always cringy, but then it was really cringy for the Yankees celebration song be playing, or the Yankees victory song be playing in the background when the other team's pouring champagne on the field and everything else. So I'm glad the Yankees decided to change that. To do Jim had a very strong opinion on that, which is much different than mine, but I think it was the right move to change this song. I can't remember which Sinatra song they're going to go. Oh, That's Life they're going to be playing. Yeah, so it's just I'm kind of happy they did that, because I've always wondered that, and I've been there before. And hats off to the Oakland A's fans. They've been keeping not the Oakland A's anymore, obviously, but they've been licking their wounds a little bit. But I always wondered, because I can't remember, like when the A's would, because I think that their victory song was Celebration by Kool and the Gang for a lot of years. And I don't know if they were playing Kool and the Gang Celebration when they lost, which would sound ridiculous. So if you lose and you put Celebration on, like, it just doesn't make any sense. We're like with the Lethbridge Bulls here, we're toying with an idea, having the Randy Newman "I Love LA," because Lethbridge, Alberta, LA. So we used their song last year, that song, as our victory song last year after the games were done. But this year we're going to have some lyric changes to incorporate the Lethbridge streets and the Lethbridge and the surrounding area into that song. But I don't think Deanne says that we should play it when the Bulls lose, not just when they win. I'm just like, well, you don't want the victory song to be playing when you lose. It's just I know it's more. There's more to it than that, and it's all the fun and fanny and blah blah. But no, I think it was the right decision by the Yankees to go out and make that change and to go to That's Life by Sinatra instead of I Love or New York, New York by Sinatra when they lose. I think it was the right choice, and maybe it was a big eye opener when the Yankees lost the World Series to the LA Dodgers in 5 games. I still can't believe Judge dropped that ball. I still cannot believe he dropped that ball. And as soon as he dropped up, I was sitting right there. I still cannot believe he dropped that ball. When he did, everything just fell apart. Like, it was going so well. It was 5-1 or 5-0 or whatever it was. Unbelievable that it happened. Yankees bet better this year than they were last year. No Soto, don't care. Bellinger's going to be the guy. Mark him in for 35 home runs. Mark him in for 35 home runs. You heard it here first on the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. For Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Brought to you by SeatGeek and SeatGeek.com. Use promo code BELLYUP at checkout. Go to BellyUpSports.com. Also, check out all the great podcasts. And then go and check out the 1420sportsbar.com for all my ramblings and other incessant crazy stuff that I put out there on a week-to-week basis. But lots of stuff going on. Got some spare time at night this week, so I can get some more content out there. Going to reach out to some of my podcast friends to come and do some shows later on in the week. I think me and Aaron are going to get together probably on Tuesday morning again for the morning shift. I quite enjoy doing those. Went to to start my day off. I get over to Spitz Stadium over 7:30 Mountain Standard Time. We start recording that. So hope some other guys are going to reach out to them, do some podcasts this week, get some more content out there before the crazy baseball season happens, not just on the television, but also here in Lethbridge, Alberta, at Spitz Stadium with Lethbridge Bulls. We've got another Bullhorn coming up too. So busy week. Lots of fun stuff going on. There it is, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. And remember, everybody, it doesn't matter where you are. It's who you're with. Have yourselves a great week, a great Sunday night, and we will talk to you again very soon.